Smash the power, relax your hands. Dude, that's very good. Okay. Much better. Danny is his name. I'm calling him right now. He got a giveaway session from Any Rabbit stream. Hey man, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, man. How you doing?
I'm very good. What are we driving today?
So I'm normally an oval guy trying to jump over into road stuff. The end goal is to end up in Indy cars because at least that's a mix of the two. So I was wanting to work on the USF 2000 today.
Perfect. Also, what equipment do you have?
I am running the Fanatec, was it the CSL base, and then the version 3 wheels. Or CSR, I guess, is the base.
Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. I can see it.
Okay.
We can start driving. I'm gonna be quiet for some laps.
Okay.
And can you hear me well when you're driving?
Yeah, I still got you pretty good.
Perfect. Okay. Send it. Okay. Let's take a break here. Alright, so I took some notes of some things. I don't want to talk about all of it at once, because I think that's going to confuse you a little bit too much. First, I want to talk about one thing, and then as we do that thing, we add more layers, more stuff to do. So I think what's hurting the most your lap times is the braking trace. So what happens is that you brake too soft and too gentle initially, and then when you realize that you're braking slightly late, you end up increasing the pressure, and that's we should never do that in a race car. Increasing the pressure in the brakes after we started braking. It should always be the opposite. The peak pressure is at the initial application, and then after that we should only go down with the brakes, not up again. So this will give you a lot more precision in your braking references. This will give you a lot more efficiency in the braking, and then all your lines will be a lot more natural. So it feels like you're not really doing some lines correctly because you are too worried about where the car is, how quick the car is. As soon as you smash the brakes a little bit more initially, everything else will be clearer for you. You will see, okay, the car is stopping, I can feel more comfortable turning, and then it feels like you're missing most of the apexes because you're not really sure what to do on entry, and then the apex as a consequence is not clear. So let's try that for now. Let's just try to get more aggressive on the braking initially, just to understand how the car stops. What is the capability of the car to stop? And then as you feel that the car actually accepts biting the brakes and smashing the brakes initially, you will have a lot more freedom with the lines and everything. So don't worry about lap times for now yet. Just brake harder initially and then feel like, okay, I don't want to increase the pressure after. Actually, before we do that, let's go to the options real quick. Okay, give me 50% brakes. So look for the sensation of the brakes going down immediately after the first application, but very slowly. It's like you brake and then you already want to let it go like 1% lower. You know, you don't want to press and then increase the pressure. Try to never do that.
Hit and then slowly come back off.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. But initially, try to always go to a very good peak. Let's say like 55, 60%. Boom, quick.
Okay.
And then it goes down, 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 down. But never boom and then even more. No. And this is what you have been doing. I think that's what makes you lock up a little bit. And it ends up like really hurting your lines. So let's try to do that. Remember the sensation. Much better there. It was a little bit too much. I mean, you heard it. We locked up a little bit, but look at how naturally the car stops, and you feel free to turn in earlier, and the racing line kind of naturally occurs. So let's keep doing that. We're gonna talk about the bus stop later. Yeah, careful with this braking zone because this is a crest, so we're falling a little bit. We have absolutely no grip there. So we need to brake slightly less there. Much better, man. Look at that. Nice. Okay, so let's finish this lap. We're just thinking about one thing, right? And it's working well. We are learning the braking efficiency. We're gaining some time there. Nice. How did you feel doing this little exercise with the braking?
So coming from oval and doing most of the tracks I do are the mile and a half tracks. There's not a lot of braking, right? There's a little bit just kind of dragging around the corner and a little bit on entry. So I'm not used to needing to stop the car quite the same way we're doing here. So yeah, so that feels all new to me, and it feels I can feel the car doing more of what I want it to, as opposed to hoping that what I'm doing is going to get something to happen.
Exactly, because the first thing I noticed immediately was that you were generally trying to brake late, but as a consequence of that, you were missing the apexes because you were kind of maybe hesitant of braking too hard and turning while braking and locking the fronts. The car really does not like that. But as soon as we brake harder initially, that problem disappears because you're braking harder, the car stops more, and you feel ready to turn. So naturally, your lines became much better. And we found like probably like a second per lap. Just doing that. Just doing the first thing. Now, the second thing is exactly that. We want now to focus on how much rotation the car is capable of giving after you are at the right speed. So what I see is a lot of hesitation with the steering. So you brake well now. We are braking a lot more efficiently, but you're still not really sure how much you can turn with the front tires. So I feel like we're still gonna do the same thing, braking hard initially, trying to make sure that you have that initial control of the speed. But then I want you to make sure that you are on the limit of the front tires by turning more. So try to ask yourself, am I on the limit of the fronts? Am I understeering? The way to tell that is to turn a little bit more and see if the car responds to that. If the car does respond, then it's going to turn more and you will realize that you are over slowing the car. If the car does not respond and understeers, that means you are actually on the good speed. You are on the right speed, and that looks good. That looks good. So it's kind of an experiment. I wanted to try turning more, mostly on entries after doing this more efficient braking and seeing if the car responds to that. If the car responds well to that and you were under the limit before, then we're gonna hit even more apexes. We're gonna get even better exits. Wanna try that?
Yeah, let's give it a go.
Okay. Okay, you see? The car responds a lot.
Yeah.
Here it's not. So here it's understeering. We want to feel that difference very well to know how much speed we need to carry in each corner. Try turning more. Look at that. Responds. Lots of grip. Even hits the inside. This is good. Good stuff. Okay, so on entry now you see that it's giving you lots of rotation, right?
Yeah.
So this is good. Let's keep doing that. Let's keep doing it like that for one more lap, and then we're gonna add one more layer to it. Amazing, amazing. Good stuff. Yeah, on this corner specifically, as soon as you get satisfied with the rotation, you feel like an urge to get back on power too early. Be careful with that. It's a long corner. You need to wait until the rotation is done, and then you go back on power. Whoop. Okay, so this corner is like that, always. So I want to add the third layer now. Okay, so the first layer was braking harder and making sure that the car was stopping well, right? And
okay.
you are still doing it very good. The second layer is making sure that the car is at the limit of the front tires, and then you can see, oh my god, how much the car can rotate. The third layer now is defining where is the point in the corner where you want the car to rotate the most, and from there you are going to start asking less rotation. So this is what people normally call the apex, but I don't like just saying, hey, this is the apex, because it's just telling you where the middle of the corner is without telling you what to do with it. It's better to rotate. When you realize that you are at 50% of the corner and that you can start straightening out your wheel, I want you to relax your hands as you go more aggressive on the power. So you're going to, because you see, we brake, then we are asking for more rotation, and then there's a point there where we're going to transition back to going in a straight line. What's happening with you now, it's because you're focused so much on the second layer that I gave you that was asking for more rotation. Now you're over rotating. You are after the apex, you are still asking for more rotation, but you don't have to, because at that point you have room to get on power and allow the car to drift wide. So the third layer is identifying when that rotation was enough. Okay, this rotation is enough, so I can really go back on power 100% and allow the car to naturally go wide without forcing it to keep churning. You see, you spun there on that corner because you got back on power and you kept asking for more rotation. So that combination of too much power and asking for the rotation is what made the spin happen. But if you get back on power and you automatically, well, not yet automatically, but you think about relaxing your hands and leaving the steering back to straight, not too quick, but just like relaxing and going back naturally, the car is going to have a very good exit without spinning. So let's try that now. Let's try to identify a place. It can be arbitrary for now. You find a place that is more or less half of the car's rotation for that corner. When you say, okay, I think that's it. Boom. Smash the power. Relax your hands a little bit and allow the car to run wide. Let's try that. Nice. Much better here. I already see it happening. Allow the car to flow wide after half of the corner. There you go. Make sure for this corner here you turn in a little bit earlier so you have the room to go to the inside, and then the third layer will be possible. You have to always be on the total inside of the corner in order for this exercise to work. Here, you see the curb, you have to be like touching the yellow a little bit before, and then you smash the power and the car will go out. Relax your hands. Nice. Much better. Remember, the first layer is braking hard initially. Oh, not too hard. Still very close to what you were doing before. You'll see that now that you're thinking about like 3 different things, it starts getting a little bit like difficult to put it all together. But this is part of the, I'm introducing you to the concepts. But after like 1 or 2 hours practicing after the session, you will see that you're gonna be able to put it all together and nail that.
That one's so weird.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. It's a very long corner, so the turn in happens kind of in slow motion. You can just go straight to the inside. Like this one is shorter, so you can be more aggressive when the turn in and everything happens quicker. But this one, for example, coming out the left, it's super slow. You should like stick to the inside. You should turn in earlier generally because you want to hit the inside. I think overall it feels like you're trying to open it up too much. And then when you turn into the corner, that's already too late. You can turn in earlier for all these corners. Nice, relaxed hands on exit. That's very good. The brake was still increasing a little bit after, so that's the part of the habit that you should work on. After, what you could do after the session, and I close the stream, you can rewatch the session. You can rewatch the VOD, so you can take notes and write down what you're doing. It's gonna help a lot. Nice. Nice, very good. Turn in earlier for this one. Don't open up too much. Nice. Smash the power, relax your hands. Good. Same thing, turn in early. Don't brake too much. Wait. Now power, relax your hands. There you go. You see, it's just a longer corner. You just need to be more patient. Smash the power, relax your hands. That was a little bit too late because you had a lot of room on the exit to use. Much better, man. We're getting lots of purples. Smash the power, relax your hands. Dude, that's very good. Okay. Much better. Let's do one more lap thinking about those things. Nice. So much more consistent. Be careful that you're coming back to the habit of not asking for more rotation mid-corner. Mid-corner, really like do that final bite on the steering before you get back on power. There you go. You see the car rotates a lot.
Yeah.
With that. Nice. Relax your hands. Perfect. Perfect, man. That's very, very good. Okay, let's take a break here real quick. And let's see more or less how you're... Actually, before, sorry, again. How did you feel? What did you try different? What felt different?
I think the biggest thing for me is I don't think I've ever asked for that much wheel input.
Ah.
Right. Racing the ovals and things like that, I've never needed to put that much input into the wheel to get the car to turn.
Mm-hmm.
I have such a wide track and generally a big corner to deal with, so it feels really weird to end up like rotating a full 90 degrees or past on the wheel.
Got it. Yeah, and sometimes we don't have to turn that much, but the idea here is that you go there to that limit and say, okay, this is the limit. So I am giving you, I'm asking you to develop this autonomy of telling yourself that is understeer. You see, because you were always before the understeer, and you could never identify it. You were always under the limit. As soon as you say, okay, I want more, until the car says, no, now I cannot give it anymore, then you find the limit of the front tires. You see? So it's very, very good to experiment trying more rotation with the steering input. After you get like lots of steering inputs and you start dealing with too much understeer, then it would be the next level, which is asking more rotation with the pedals, with the downshift. There are so many things on top of what we worked today that we can do. Of course, we cannot talk about this today because we are already kind of like reworking all your technique from the ground up. So that would be too much. But we could talk about that in the future, of course. But the key is that I want you to ask yourself if you are, when braking, am I getting back on, am I braking as efficiently as possible? Yes or no? When turning, am I rotating as much as possible? Yes or no? And then when you get back on power, you want to really allow the car to run wide. Ideally on power, it still feels like you're getting back on power a little bit too late every time. There's a way to know. The same way there is a way to know when you're turning too much, which is the car understeering. There's a way to know when you get back on power and it's too early. It's when the car refuses to turn and you have to ask for too much rotation and you spin. You see? So you want to be a little bit more aggressive by trying to carry more speed on exits in a way that the car will always want to go to the outside by itself. And that's the magic. The magic happens when you start getting back on power and the car goes naturally all the way to the outside, because that's the best line you can go. But yeah, this would be, we can try it a little bit more. I want to check something. I noticed that when you're lifting and you're braking, you maintain the throttle at around 5 to 10%. Are you aware of that? Do you think this is because of a calibration, or are you deliberately maintaining the throttle to keep the car stable?
It's more than likely something I'm doing intentionally, not realizing it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Before coming to iRacing, I did a lot of stage rally stuff. And so keeping RPMs up, keeping a little bit of throttle on, kept those wheels rotating as opposed to locking up and just sliding through someplace. So more than likely, yeah, I'm probably partway on that throttle, feeling like I need to maintain something to keep the car balanced.
Okay, perfect. Okay. In iRacing, we mostly don't do it except for some specific cars and some specific setups in some specific places. So let's try to have a new rule for this track specifically. 0 throttle on entry. As long as your speed is going down and you're getting more rotation, absolutely 0 throttle. And then you smash the throttle very aggressively on exit. So try to have the throttle only for exits, and try to remove the maintenance throttle from the play on entry. Wanna try that? What's gonna happen? Sorry.
I was gonna say, so we're giving that hard braking, coming completely off the throttle.
Yeah.
Rolling through to the apex, and then pick up the throttle.
Exactly.
From there. Okay.
No throttle on entry, and then what you will see is that your speed control will be completely responsibility of the brakes. So that's going to be more important, because how much you brake is going to determine how much speed you carry. If you want to carry more speed, you brake less or later. But try to maintain that control on the brakes and not on the throttle. And I know you're talking about the throttle more about balance, but the brakes always go. The brake is also going to have the control of the balance. If you want the car to understeer, you release the brakes quicker. If you want the car to oversteer, you trail brake a little bit deeper, and you keep a little bit more brakes. But it's all on the brakes. No throttle should play a role on that. Unless you're really losing the rear and you realize you're losing the rear, then we go a little bit on the throttle to try to correct it. But yeah, let's experiment that on top of everything that we talked about today. And don't worry about the lap times. Again, you're trying all new stuff. You need to really bring that back to the muscular memory. So if you're feeling a little bit lost, it's fine. It's going to come back after you practice more. Just try to focus on the 0 throttle on entry now. Remember the second layer, asking for more rotation mid corner.
Okay.
You see?
Yeah, it's got a lot more to give than I'm asking for.
Exactly. That means you can brake a little bit less. It has nothing to do with the throttle. It has something to do with the brakes. Good. And then you smash the power. Here you see. Let's actually stop here real quick.
Okay.
And you're in a offline test session?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go reverse then, and let's go back to that exit. I want to talk about that. Because this is one of the corners where you're getting back on power a little bit too late, and I want you to understand how to identify the best place to get back on power here. So you see the corner is, let's say, more or less like, I don't know, let's call it 90 degrees. It feels like you can get back on power when you rotate at 45, because you have that all that exit to use, but you're waiting for longer and the car is rotating excessively before you get back on power. So as soon as you get back on power, you are stuck on the inside, you see? So let's go a little bit forward here, just a little bit, so we can kind of see the exit, and then go in slow motion what line you would do. You turn in, you go all the way to the inside. Okay, here's the apex. Let's stop here. Here we can see the apex now. You can use all that outside there. You can use all the exits. So if you get back on power here, the line naturally opens up, right? Because we relax our hands and the car wants to go, wants to turn less because it's gonna carry more speed. So we want to determine here the timing of when we get back on power. If you get back on power too early, then the car will not be able to make the exit. It's gonna want to go all the way to that wall, that blue wall. If you get too late though, the car will ask for nothing. The car will just go where you want. And if you are too much on the right, now go a little bit forward, but to the right, to the line that you were doing here. You see? You don't want to stay here. You want to use all of that exit there. So you want to get back on power earlier so the car will flow forward. It will want to go naturally all the way to that left, and you will have the time to come back to the right to prepare the next left-hander. So it's a timing thing. Every time you get back on power too late, it's gonna feel too easy. It should never feel too easy. It should feel kind of natural that the car wants to go all the way to that curb. Do you wanna try that? Every exit, let's try to get back on power and ask ourselves if the car is flowing naturally to the outside or if the car is just staying on the inside too easily after the exit. Remember to have 0 throttle mid-corner on entry.
I was going to say, it felt different that time.
Yeah, you had like 1% throttle. Almost nothing. Smash the power. Nice. Still a little bit easy on this exit, you see? But it's better. Power early.
Yeah, there was more to give on that last one.
Nice. Here, patience, and then power early. Send it. Relax your hands. Relax your hands. Look at that. Amazing. Okay, the next one is the one we talked about. So smash the power early. Let the car run wide to the exit on the left. That's it. Much better. You can go even more. Oh, relax your hands. So yeah, I see that you have a CSR, right? So the force feedback is not too hard, it's not too strong there. So on this corner, you have to be careful to be aggressive on the power because there's less grip, the car is light. So as soon as you get back on power there, try to go like to 80%, feel that the car is stabilizing, and then you go to 100%. But apart from that, every exit was green delta. Now, so let's keep going.
Good.
I know the car feels a little bit more twitchy off throttle there, but that's part of the exercise. I mean, that is actually how it should feel. Nice. You can probably brake a little bit less for that one.
Okay.
But that's part of the another practice, like the inputs, how much speed to carry, that's all gonna be consequence. What I'm teaching you here is how to identify those things, and then you're gonna be able to determine all that on solo practice. So don't worry about delta again. Okay, here, did you feel you over-braked a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, so on the next lap, you just brake a little bit less. That's it.
Okay.
The adjustments are from lap to lap. When you overslow the car on entry, there's nothing you can do on that corner. It's already overslowed. But on the next lap, you can try adjusting something a little bit. It's always on entry. You adjust something on entry, and then you'll see how the car reacts to it. On the next right-hander, get back on power even earlier.
Okay.
There you go. Very good. The car was wanting to go more to the left. perfect. It's a purple. Oops. Power. Nice. Power early. That was a little bit too early. But that, you see, right? When you get back on power too early, the car alters its line on its own. So the timing of when you get back on power makes a big difference there. Very good, man. A little bit hesitant with the steering. Remember, you can turn more. Try braking last for this one. Turn a lot, then power. On entry, it feels like you're hesitating again. I know, it's a habit. You will work on that. But you're still like missing the apex because you're not asking for that rotation early. Nice. Power. Beautiful. That's it. Careful on the exit here. Very good. One more purple. Power. That's it. That's it, man. Let's stop here. This is amazing. Finish the lap. Dude.
Yep.
That's so much better. It's like, look at the lap times.
Holy crap, that's crazy.
Let's see what was your first lap times and compare. So can you tell us? Can you read it for us? The first lap times.
Top one was a 154 and then a 153.6. And then this last one was a 159.
Okay, so that's almost 3 seconds. When you practice a little bit more, you're going to find a lot more time, man. There's a lot more time. There are some things I can show you with the line. For example, the line at the bus stop, you can really like gain probably like more than half a second there. I didn't want to talk about it because we're talking about fundamental car handling here. We're not talking about the track itself. So the track will come after. I recommend that you rewatch this session, but not only this one, the session before with Abdul. We were talking about specifics of the track. We were talking about the bus stop a lot, how you should actually go all the way to on top of all those curves there. I know that you are going around the curves and everything, but that's fine. I didn't want to give you too much information. I wanted to focus on the car handling, and you did it beautifully, man. Really good job.
So question on those curves.
Sure.
That's not going to break my car. I'm used to like a big heavy stock car that I know I can bash into stuff and be relatively okay, and I look at this and I'm like, this thing has to be so fragile.
You should try it, man. You should try it, especially in practice. Like, just send it. You need to cut everything. In iRacing, the best approach is trying to exploit the track. Is there something I can just cut, ignore, and go on top of, like a super truck? Yes or no? You go there and try. There's so much like. There are so many places we can actually gain a lot of time just by asking ourselves if we can cut more. Like, you ask, for example, I don't know, let's give an extreme example, Montreal, all those big curves on the chicanes, you can really like gain so much time if you try to attack, and then you drive on a GT car there, you can go so much on the curb that the curb is actually under the car and you are over the curb, like after the curb hitting the grass. So sometimes just like going there and trying to experiment cutting it is worth the try, especially at the attempt, especially being on practice where you can crash or whatever. Don't be afraid of really trying those things. You will see the line better when you rewatch the session. I really recommend that you rewatch the session with odd man outs and your session, so you can take more notes and see how you were behaving and everything. So man, that's it. Keep working on those things. Don't forget about them. You improved ridiculously, and just keep doing what we worked about today, and you will see that you're gonna find even more seconds there. And this
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
this works for absolutely all cars. This is not a USF 2000 car thing. It's for all cars. So if you're driving Formula 3, GT3, GTE, Formula 1, whatever, even the actually even oval cars, they will behave just the same, man. Watkins Glen is a road course full of oval corners. So just focus on car handling, and then we think about the track. This was very good. Congrats.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man.
Good job, man. I'll talk to you soon. Let me know how it goes, and yeah.
Will do. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, guys. This was amazing, and I really love what I do. I know I'm good, guys. I know I'm good at what I do, and I trust myself. I trust what I say, and I trust my students. They go quicker, man. They go quicker. I have been doing this for around 1,200 hours almost already, and I have met so many drivers, high-level drivers, who just say that what I'm doing is wrong, man. And this is not gonna even scratch my work, because I'm really confident about what I do. I have worked for 15 years as a pianist on my technique, working on my technique, understanding that there's a linearity, there's an order, there's a priority. You need to understand some fundamental things. Other things will show up as a result of that. I can't tell, hey, hit the apex, you're missing the apex. The student knows that, man. He wants to know why he is missing the apex. Anyways, yeah. If you guys wanna do some coaching and you don't trust the fast guys, I understand you. I know many students who had sessions with guys from I'm not gonna say name, bigger teams that offer coaching sessions for double my price. They're charging $100 and stuff, and man, my coaching is good. Trust me. If you want to do it, go for it. Anyways, I just found it was a little bit more intense to do the session with so many people saying that what I was doing was wrong, even though I knew it was not wrong. I know what I'm doing.